your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers rolling, goalie rumors, NFL dynasty ends in Missouri, and Notre Dame takes its ball and goes home. That's how it happened. Welcome to the Lowdown. We're presented by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for the Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner. You're guaranteed a minimum $500 bonus on your new vehicle purchase. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. On the way today, we're going to be talking about the Oilers. Lots of football, college and pro. And we are live on YouTube and Sports 1440, online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca and Radio Player Canada. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcasts have us, and we tweet it out on X. And we're going to have a really good show today. We've got our terrific guests. We have Rachel Krychak from ESPN and Betalytics, and Jason Krueger coming up at 1:20, Declinations at 1:40 today. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, J Fenwick 04 as well. Plenty of talk, and of course, your comments welcome at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And now it's time for the introductions. If he were a bowl game, it would be the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, because he loves good music and he likes to drop it while it's hot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick.
Shout out to the Snoop Dogg Bowl. Yep, that sounds like me right there. Music.
Well, you love music, right? Like not rap, it's like country you like.
No.
Luke Bryan is your guy.
No.
There's no Luke
not.
Bryan Bowl, though, so I couldn't
You
go
must
with
be
that.
confusing me with someone else.
Big time Luke Bryan. What was your most popular song last year on your vid?
It was Your Man by Joji.
Yeah.
I wish I could not just say that.
Aren't you sorry that you didn't stay with Luke Bryan?
I don't think I listened to a single Luke Bryan song this
There's
year.
a lie. If he were a bowl game, it would be the Gaylord Hotel's Music City Bowl presented by Bridgestone, because like the name, he's a little wordy and he's a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
I am very wordy.
And you're a lot.
My answers get rambly.
You know, the last 2 Mondays that I've been on the Kevin Carius show, they record me talking and then they put it on a little video that they tweet out. And I say, way more than I think I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me. You know what I say the most?
Hmm.
I say, listen, or I say, this is the thing. This is the other thing. Those
Right.
are my 2 ticks that
You also say, my goodness, a lot.
I do say. Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot to be.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
You say I was wrong a lot.
Yeah, I do say I was wrong. Hey, listen, you just gotta buck up and eat crow.
I'm just teasing you.
Being said, you should have seen how many I cut out of your clip today.
Oh my God, it was bad, and I apologize. But in fairness to me, I was naked and in my bed and not awake, and the visual will crush you. See,
I'm crushed.
Don't talk to Lowetide about something he did, because then he'll tell you what he was doing when he was doing it. Okay, let's start here. Edmonton Oilers They get home, they play in Seattle, play very well. They play a great game against Minnesota to lose, and now they're on a little bit of a roll. They've got Buffalo coming up, Detroit coming up. I think they're going to go 9-3-3 during December. We'll see. That's an aggressive record. They've already lost a game, but they look good to me. They look good on Saturday. And look, I know Winnipeg is tired. I get it. I understand it. But the Oilers came out. You remember when the last decade or 25 years, when they come out and they play very slowly, like they're kind of not awake and doing a hit naked in their bed with Kevin Karius? You remember when they were like that? They're not like that right now. They're playing really well, and they've gotten rid of those long stretch passes. They were in the plan before, but they were using them way too much, and they became predictable. The opposition was able. I wrote about this at The Athletic today. The opposition was ready to anticipate that. They did anticipate it, and they were just picking off passes like they were DBs playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. So it was not a good game plan. They went with it for a long time, and they appeared with that practice. They appeared to have fixed it. Nuge up on the top line. Savoy looking good. They've got several young forwards in the minors that could call up. But right now, even the fourth line with Lazar and Frederick and the ghost of David Tomasic were brilliant on Saturday night. And I like the Henrique line. They're looking good. They are looking good, and I think they will look good through December and into January and even up to the Olympic break. We're going to talk whether we're not going to have an Olympic break. But what did you boys think about the Saturday night win and the Oilers overall in December?
Well, really quickly, before we get to that, could you retweet the show tweets? Get a few more viewers on the YouTube, get the Twitter numbers bumped up. You don't have to.
Am I that important to the show's success?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you are the host.
You are the host.
So, like, if I just tweeted this naked from my bed at home, would you need me for the show?
Ooh.
Yeah, you're having a hard time answering that.
Yeah,
that's it to me.
That's a tongue twister. Oh, no, it's tweeted. It's out there.
I got Brandon Douglas. I've got Sports 14.4. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, listen,
no, that's Kevin Carey. I do not have a copy of it.
Well,
did you include me?
Yeah, no, of course. It's on my profile. If you just want to.
Okay, watch here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lion is what I'm doing. Anyway, go ahead.
The Oilers. Yeah, I think this is more of a return to the mean that we thought was going to happen from the Edmonton Oilers. Like, I still wonder, and I think this is rightfully so. When you look at some of the top-heavy teams in the Central, Anaheim, they're very young. I'm not too worried about them in Pacific. Vegas, to me, they're in a similar position as the Oilers. Like, earlier in the season, I had some hesitancies about Vegas. Don't really hold those anymore. When you look at the top-heavy teams in the Central, in Dallas and Colorado, I think that's where you can rightfully raise questions. But as far as their outlook in the Pacific and the way they've returned to the mean, like I said, and what they did this past weekend against Winnipeg, I mean, it was kind of a pre-written conclusion, I think, with their goaltending situation, as was the Seattle game. The Oilers are fine. The Oilers were always going to be fine. They were always going to find themselves in the playoffs. The question was, and the question still is, what is it going to look like? Because they've ran through Dallas the past couple of years. Are we going to see that happen again? That's what remains to be seen. A lot of hockey left.
Yeah, and lots of goalie rumors. We will get into that and during rumors at 12:20, but I got to move on because there's some football stuff. I believe we saw the end of a dynasty last night. Kansas City Chiefs, my God. Like, what are you going to do? They don't look like that was a bad football team last night. I'll say it. I know they're the Chiefs. I know they're wonderful and everybody loves them, but they look bad. Taylor Swift has never had an album that bad. That's how bad the Chiefs were.
Oh my, just the Chiefs, man. I think they're cooked. Patrick Mahomes, he threw 3 interceptions.
Is this a Chris Collins?
This is a Chris Collins. Tied. Just at one point he was 12 of 27 throwing the ball.
He had 9 problem. He had 9 incompletions or knockdowns or interceptions, and on the 10th he threw another interception.
It was a really, really bad look for the Chiefs last night. I
thought you were Louis Armstrong, by the way. That's how bad that was.
I think that was a great. I think that was a great Collins.
What a wonderful world.
Oh, I was not nearly that deep. Oh my, come on, just no. The Texans, I wouldn't exactly say that they had a barn burner of a game, but their defense is incredible. They really just needed that. They just needed the lead in that second half so that they could be like, all right, great. The defense is going to stop these guys. And then Dare, I'm not even going to try to say Dario. He comes in for Woody Marks, and immediately Collinsworth is like, yeah, Mike, this guy's not getting any red zone touches in practice. And then he immediately runs in for a touchdown. So, and then to be fair to Patrick Mahomes, it's not like his receivers couldn't keep their hands on the ball at all. Rashee Rice had it in his hands and he just let it go. Same with Travis Kelce. But all in all, I think Brandon said today, I think their playoff percentage is like 16%. Chargers, if they win, that undoubtedly has to go down.
Yep.
I appreciate you said if they win, because we know they're going to win.
The Chargers have problems similar to the Eagles. Did you guys see Rashee Rice getting crushed across the middle? And then someone tweeted.
Did you see the NFL memes?
Someone tweeting, I don't know if it was NFL memes, but someone tweeting, now Rashee Rice know what it's like to be hit by a high rate of speed.
Yeah, and have a guy and have the perpetrator leave the scene.
That's what
that was NFL memes. Yeah.
That was a desperation pass and a suicide pass. That was like not good.
I don't even really think that was a suicide pass. That wasn't exactly up the middle.
It was honestly just a really good close. Yeah. Timed and angled really well.
We have to talk about more football, and I really want to get into this because Notre Dame is pissy about not getting into the playoff. And our man Declan, at least 2 months ago, said they shouldn't get in. They hadn't earned it. And you're right. And Notre Dame is like, of all the schools, they're not even in a conference. So they can do whatever they want all year, and they're going to get a bowl game. And it's been like that for like 100 years. And now they're mad, and they're taking their ball and go home. This is a bad look for Notre Dame. They are getting slaughtered online, and they should be.
Whiny little babies. That's what Notre Dame is. Listen, the committee they did the right thing by having Miami in over Notre Dame. I actually had BYU in over both. That's another conversation for Thursday or something. I'm going to actually give Notre Dame a touch of credit here in this respect. Every single week, the playoff rankings came out. They do a Tuesday show every Tuesday. Sometimes it's at 5, sometimes it's at 6. Every time that show happened, Notre Dame was ahead of Miami. And then finally, at the 11th hour, when neither team played a game during conference championship week, the committee flipped them. Now, the committee did the right thing. These two teams had the same record, played a similar schedule, played head-to-head, and Miami won. The right team got in. Make no mistake about that. But if you're Notre Dame, you're sitting there being like, for 5 straight weeks, you had us ahead of Miami. Then neither of us played a game, and now all of a sudden we're out. So I get why they're upset from that perspective. But when you actually look at what happened, like Lowetide, I said this to you before the show, Notre Dame fans might be upset. In their heart of hearts, they know the right decision was made.
Of all the teams, of all the organizations, of all the programs to have big baby energy, Notre Dame has no right to bitch. Do you know how many times in the past 25 years that they've been marginal, like easy to pass over for a bowl game, and they always get one? Why? Because of ratings. And now they're refusing. I mean, I think it's is there any way they can reverse that? Because these seniors aren't going to play another game. I'm sure they were looking forward to playing a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course they were. I mean, like, you got to think about the seniors on that team who are never going to play a game of football again. Their season's over without them knowing it. They thought they had one last shot. They were probably going to get their families out. They were going to obviously make it an event because it was going to be their last football game. It was going to be something that meant something to them and was special to them. And now they're not going to have a chance because the program are whiny little babies and just don't want to go. It's ridiculous. It's so on brand for Notre Dame. Couldn't have happened to a better program.
Understand, this is right at the top of the organ, like of the school, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
This isn't the coach saying this.
This was Verduca and Freeman, probably just Verduca,
and it is so, and it's typical because they have won. Let's make a list of teams and organizations and programs who've been screwed over because of Notre Dame in the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Like, it's pretty much everybody not in the SEC.
Yeah, the SEC is really the only one who's gotten any benefit of the doubt outside of Notre Dame. And this is I'm a devout Catholic, so I should be sitting here banging the gavel for Notre Dame. But again, this proves my objectivity, how hard I'm going in on Notre Dame right now.
In order to be credible, all you had to do was throw the Catholics under the bus. Well done.
Well, just Notre Dame.
Yeah. All right. Well, we give you credit for that. Is there anything else that happened this weekend that we should talk about before we get to talking about your Mamma Mia?
I mean, it was just a great weekend of sports. It was a really, really good weekend of sports. It was very football heavy for me. There obviously was a UFC event but it was a good weekend. Good weekend of sports.
Major League Baseball winter meeting starting now. Soroka is signed with Arizona, I believe. And there are lots of trade rumors. Some signings involving rumors around the Toronto Blue Jays, but we'll get to that. What did you do this weekend? Aside from, I know you got to get a haircut last week, but you didn't show anybody, and except me, all week. How'd you go with the new hair? People like it, dislike it?
Oh, yeah, the people liked it. Couple times at work, guys were like, how's it going, stud? I was like, thanks, man. Appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
Little Sandy Danny reference.
Yeah. So
you look like you're in grade 8, but that's okay.
Well, I did also like fully shave. I pulled out the razor and everything instead of just using the electric one.
You do have a bit of a baby face.
And leaving stubble. Exactly why I leave like the stubble around.
This is the way your mom likes you to look, though.
It is.
Yeah.
And I personally, I don't like to look this way, but it's just kind of the way it is. Yeah, honestly, all I did this weekend was watch sports. I got off work early on Saturday, sat down at the bar with a bunch of coworkers and watched the Oiler game.
Yeah. Did you, Declan? Do you look forward to haircuts like young Josh does?
Oh, well, not anymore. I used to when I had a full head of hair and I was really good looking. Now I'm just moderately good looking, and it's kind of tough to walk into the barber and have to, just kind of accept my fate.
I don't think anybody worries about it like you do. You're a good-looking fella, and you've got nice hair, and you're going to go to Europe and get some plugs, and it'll be fine.
Now we're talking. That's the plan.
All right.
Can I have my Christmas bonus early?
Sure. You bet. Just ask Jason. Join a conference, you cowards, from Pipeline Steve. I agree. Like, this whole independent stuff has got to end, and they used it to their own advantage. But wake up! The world has changed. It's not who are we going to play in the Rose Bowl anymore.
That's the other thing I would say about Notre Dame. Like, all not being in a conference has ever done is benefit you.
Yes.
Until now.
So,
like, it's about time
change.
Circle gets the square.
And go to what is the Pac-10 is the Pac-2? Go to the Pac. They get the Pac-3.
Well, listen, they pretty much play a glorified ACC schedule. The ACC makes sense. The Big Ten makes sense as well, but like that might just be a little too tough of a path for Notre Dame.
Man, like the biggest baby team, like, organization on the planet right now is Notre Dame. All they do is benefit for decades and maybe 100 years, and they're just, and they don't deserve it. They had two. Who were the losses to at the beginning of the year? Two of them.
Miami by 3 and Texas A&M by 1.
And you said at the time, you said these are tough beats, but it's going to keep them out of the playoff. And you were right. And that was what week 2?
That was the first 2 games they played. Yeah.
So it, you said it. If you're a Notre Dame fan and you're upset today, in your heart of hearts, you shouldn't be. Robson from St. Albert, Chiefs suck. I couldn't be more happy. Well, I think, I'm a little bit disappointed in Declan. I thought he'd be trumpeting Buffalo because he always said, Buffalo can't get by the Chiefs. Now they don't have to worry about them. So surely to God, it's their time.
We won the Lowetide Producer Bowl.
I was going to bring that up when we were talking about the NFL, but then I got passed by.
Down at halftime. Scoreless third quarter.
You can jump in anytime.
It's your show. I feel bad.
I didn't see that game. It was on my
It was
TV.
the best game of the day.
Yeah, it was.
I love snow games. I love them.
It was
awesome. It was how football is supposed to be played.
Yeah.
In my estimation.
Yeah. That first pick that Burrow threw. So I was watching the game. Greg Olson was the color guy on the game. And he's like, like Burrow's a gamer. He's going to get this touchdown. The Bengals are going to go up big and they're going to be able to win this game. Immediately gets a bad hand on the ball and sort of pitches it over to Jamar Chase. And shout out to Benford. He read that like a book, and then runs right into the breadbasket, carries it all the way downfield, like 41 yards or something like that. Tud. And I was like, well, that sucks. And I knew he was going to throw a pick.
Yeah.
And then the very next drive, Greg Olson says the exact same thing. I'm like, he's going to throw another pick here. Sure as
lo and behold.
Yeah, lo and
sure
behold.
Shooting.
No. Sure as shooting. There we go. Yeah. He throws another pick. And I was like, great, this game is over.
All right. The highlight of this segment was the brilliant Louis Armstrong Chris Collinsworth impersonation.
Come on.
By
Give me a
John.
little credit here.
On the way, we have rumors. We've got declinations coming at 1:40. At 12:40, we have Rachel Krychak and Jason Greger at 1:20 today. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Hold up. Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both.
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Every lunchtime, hang with Lowetide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Lowetide and Declan Krueger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
With Lowetide on Sports 1440. Best of the season to you. Merry Christmas. 1221. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. We're reminding you to be careful out there. Some slippy slidey on the weekend. No matter how well you drive, there are going to be times when you slip a little bit, turn a wheel, and maybe spin out a little. And that's why you're always happy when you leave 5 car lengths. And people always say, well, leave 3. Leave 5 in the winter. Somebody was going to, slide in. That's fine. But you have extra time, and that's all you need. Extra time at this time of year. We want everybody home and bored watching television by 6 o'clock every night. That's the goal. It's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. We are Looking at lines and pairings from practice today, the Oilers play Buffalo tomorrow night. This is via Jason Gregor. Pretty much the same. McDavid between Nuge and Hyman. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Savoy. Henrique between Janmark and Mangiapane. Lazar centering Frederick and Tomasic. Phillips joining the group in non-contact jersey. He's eligible to come off LTIR on Saturday. Man, I have a hard time getting into the lineup because Lazar is playing well. The defense is Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Regula, Kulak, Emberson, Skinner in the starters net. Wallman, Kappen, and Clattenburg not on the ice today. Jason did follow up a few minutes ago saying Wallman won't play this week according to Knobloch. Not certain he returns next week. He has a deep bone bruise from blocking a shot, taking longer to heal than originally expected. And that's okay. I remember a day when the Oilers didn't take extra care. You know, when Mike Greer used to, he'd hit a guy, his shoulder would come out of its socket, he'd scream, you could hear him yelling in the ring. And he'd come to the bench and they'd put it back in and he'd be out for the next shift. Not good. You want Wallman to heal so that eventually he's ready when the important games come, and those are the play. Not that these aren't important now, but I don't think anybody's really worried about the Oilers making the playoffs, and you finish second or third, doesn't really matter. You just want to play Anaheim at the beginning of the playoffs. I think that's the key. Craig Smith has announced his retirement. He had a 14-year NHL career. And I will say this, and I've said it before. Guys like Craig Smith and Mike Johnson are really good players, but because their names are Mike Johnson and Craig Smith, they're very common names. Sometimes we forget about what they do, and sometimes we don't remember them when their careers are done. Johnson got a break because he had an opportunity to show everybody how brilliant he is at evaluating the game as a commentator, as a color guy. But Smith had a great career. I enjoyed watching him for most of it. And we wish him the best. But if his name was Craig Fenwick, I think he would probably be better known than he is today. The Canadians have announced the roster for the 2026 World Juniors. It's an interesting list. Sam O'Reilly, former Oilers draft pick, is on the list. I think there's only like 9 defensemen, 15 forwards, and 3 goalies. But I think they're hoping for some folks to be cut or let loose by NHL teams and arrive to play for Canada. Andrei Vasilevsky is on injured reserve. Kings are looking for a change of scenery for Philip Deneau. Not sure if anybody's interested in that. The Canucks and Red Wings have talked about Quinn Hughes. The Canucks are like, it's like a nightmare. What's the worst nightmare movie you've ever seen, like horror film? That's what the Canucks are. They just are. Like they're disintegrating, and they're not going to get as much for Hughes because you're only going to go to 2 or 3 teams: New Jersey, Detroit. It's a mess. I could never feel bad for Vancouver Canucks fans, mostly because they're busy trolling everybody on planet Earth online. But this is a bad scene for anybody who cheers for Canucks and isn't online. I mean, there's probably grandmas, Orland Kurtenbach's, wife, who probably cheer for the Canucks, and they're good people. But they're not online. Like if the Leafs win the Stanley Cup, I know Leafs fans are good. Good folks. I'll be happy for them. How many fine Canucks fans do you guys know? Crickets.
Well, there's none of them. That's right.
I work with a guy at the bar. He's a Canucks fan. He's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sam the intern. He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
He's a
Sam
Canucks
the intern.
fan.
Yeah, he's a Canucks fan.
Well,
yeah.
Says so. I don't know.
Think that'll change? He's young.
I don't really know if he's a Canucks fan. He has the mug.
In baseball, Nationals are talking Kenzie Gore and CJ Abrams maybe in deals. The Blue Jays are interested in Robert Suarez. I don't know why they go for these guys who are just get a real guy, like get Henke, get Dwayne Ward. I know they're really hard to get. I totally get it. Are we sticking a fork in the Chiefs? I think we should, but is it official or do they have a slender hope?
Oh, the Chiefs are well and cooked.
Good.
You know those Tennessee barbecues where like it just comes off the bone? That's where the Chiefs are right now.
How close to that are the Colts now that Daniel Jones suffered an Achilles tear?
So that's an interesting part of this equation, because not only do the Colts have they been falling and now don't have their quarterback for the rest of their season. That is a head-to-head Kansas City has. So that's something to consider. Mathematically, they're not out, but like they got to be perfect. You got to go 4-0. You got to go 4-0, and you got to play Denver and the Chargers again. It's not going to be easy. I don't think 9-8 gets it done. You have to be perfect, and you probably need some help as well.
Chargers QB Justin Herbert's status uncertain for Week 14. There was talk of him, getting better. He underwent surgery to repair a fracture in his non-throwing hand. His being active for the game has been uncertain. They need him to win. I think they can win. What are your thoughts on that?
I think with the way the Eagles are playing right now, I think the Chargers can still win.
I agree with that.
Aaron Hampton's back tonight. No Jalen Carter for the Eagles.
And is Lane Johnson back?
No, I don't think so.
And
this is a game where I could see either team winning ugly. Like you kind of
7-6.
Maybe not that ugly. Like you kind of talk about it like it's a predetermined loss for Philadelphia, which I think is a little harsh, but I also understand based on the way they've been playing. But the Chargers, I feel like, are in a similar boat. Like they're not exactly dog walking their opponents. You could argue, with all respect to Justin Herbert, their two best players are not going to be playing. Their right tackle and their left tackle, and haven't been for a while now. Like that is a huge factor. Whichever team wins this game, no matter how ugly it is, won't surprise me.
The Browns are expected to retain quarterback Deshaun Watson in 2026. How happy are you about that?
I don't think anyone should be happy about that.
Except Deshaun Watson's agent.
Yeah, no, there we go. So there's one person that's happy about that. I don't even think Deshaun Watson is happy to be on Cleveland.
I was going to make that joke too. Like his ass don't even want to be there.
No.
What a dumb set of decisions.
He wants to go somewhere where there's no extradition treaty. Like Indonesia. Actually, I think Indonesia has one.
They're not expanding there, though, so it won't happen.
No.
So why does LeBron hate the 76ers?
I don't know, but the hate is there. He hates everyone in the East.
Did you see the 4 shots he made? Like,
yes.
Like, come on. The 76ers, just a little team over there that overspent on 10 or 11 players. They can't even let him have one win.
After his double-digit point streak ended, he was like, "I'm starting another one."
He had 12 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm doing it in a 5-minute span.
Man, I just,
he's so sick of the ball.
He really is. But he's not the best player ever, and he's not the best player in the league right now.
No, it's Nikola Jokic on both of those cases.
Yeah.
Raptors are 15-10, but they've lost 3 in a row.
It's a tough look.
Do we talk about them enough?
I talk about them on Carius's show sometimes. He'll bring me in. Yesterday was a tough watch, specifically in that first half. Yeah. First half, they had nothing going for them. Second half, I don't know what Darko or Scotty Barnes or whoever said to them in the locker room at halftime, but they came out a lot stronger. Boston had scored 30 points in both quarters in the first half. They were held to 22 and 24 in the third and fourth. Meanwhile, the Raptors picked it up, but they just they got outscored. They got outplayed in the fourth. But the final score makes it look a lot closer than it really was. Apologies.
Okay. The Timberwolves and the Celtics have won 5 in a row.
Congratulations to the Timberwolves. I need to look at their schedule. So this is Paul's team. Fun fact. So we cover a lot. We cover the Minnesota Timberwolves a lot. And they were, to start the year, perfect against teams below 500. And they were defeated against every team they played.
So they know where they were, like what they are.
Which
it's actually the most hilarious run. And I'm pretty sure it was only snapped when they played when they lost to Sacramento in overtime.
Yeah.
Or beat Phoenix, actually. That's when it was snapped.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Well, Phoenix is above 500, and they have been. Yep. Well, and they were at the time. But they didn't beat Phoenix. They lost 114-113. That's the...
Wait, I thought they beat Phoenix.
They lost 114-113.
Oh. My bad.
I think that was they got one shot in the in the entire last minute and a half of the game. It was a tough look all the way around.
How do you guys feel about the Packers-Bears game? It's from Zach. All the drama and the Bears coach calling out the games and such. I listened to the interview, and it was like it was controlled rage, right? Like he was mad as hell, but not pointing fingers.
Listen, even in a loss, I walked away from it like confident in the Bears. Like I don't leave that game thinking the Bears are just some fraud team that's going to get gut check and manhandled by a good team in the playoffs. Like I was like, okay, these guys can really play.
Triple C in a truck. LT is the only Eagles fan that roots against them. He never has them winning any game, even the Super Bowls. As I recall, I was more confident about the latest Super Bowl victory than I certainly wasn't confident about the other one. You can't blame me. I mean, they were playing the Patriots and Brady, and they'd done that before. But like when you're a fan of a team since '72 and they don't win the Super Bowl, and they've been there at that time, it would have been the third time I think they win when they finally won. You sort of go, well, okay, my heart's been broken. I'm going to assume the worst, and that's what I did. And then when they played this last time, I was more confident in them winning. The concern I have right now is they're the last game I watched completely. It was like, okay, we really need to keep the defense off the field. They're tired. Oh, it's 3 and out. And they did that the whole game. Like the OC, you've got to get a first down for God's sake. And they can't even do that. That's a sign of a team that is really in trouble offensively. And I mean, I'm tired of looking at Hurts going, I don't have the answers, and part of it is Barkley isn't Barkley this year. I mean, he's not the player he was. And I mean, I'll never say a bad word about Barkley. They won the Super Bowl with him. But the wide receivers are like, they're coming out of their shoes yelling that they're not getting the ball, which is not unusual. But in this particular case, I think it might be right. They have 2 really good wideouts. They've got Goddard. They've got somebody in the backfield. And they keep running these really conservative plays over and over again. And what's their record? 8-4? I mean, they're going to win the division, but that doesn't mean you have to lose a lot of games down the stretch. Because do you give them any chance of winning a playoff game this year?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. I think listen, the wild card teams that are going to come out of the NFC are going to be very, very strong. But again, I don't think that I probably wouldn't favor them. I may not pick them, but can they win? Yeah, absolutely.
Part of this is injury too. They're injured. They're banged up in places, right? So
yeah, of course.
But
when I look at the AFC, there are some teams that are going to get into the playoffs, and I'm like, no, they can't win a playoff game. I don't really feel that way in the NFC, with the exception of maybe the NFC South winner. And even them, they'll be hosting, so they're going to have a fighting chance as well.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to pass this along, and I did not. Ottawa senators are lobbying provincial, federal governments for LeBreton Flats arena funding. So that story, which has been going for 2 decades, maybe longer, is still in the news. I don't know if we'll ever see an arena built there, and it's been talked about for 20 years at least. Do we have anything to add, gentlemen?
I'm good over here. I think. I think we've had a great little roundtable.
No, I enjoy the convo. It's really good.
Weekly, every day is a roundtable now.
Well, I don't think it's every day. As a matter of fact, next segment, I have Rachel Krychak to talk to.
Well, you have Daniel Nugent-Bowman on Tuesdays.
Sure. And I have Kevin McCurdy on Wednesdays.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I do like the back and forth because you guys are very knowledgeable about basketball and football. And I bring the highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. Okay. 12:37. Rachel Krychak on the way. We're going to talk about the Oilers, talk about a few teams in the NHL, Canadian divisions, and a little bit about Italy, the Olympics, and ice. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stredler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more, up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you? Who, me? No way. I swear. Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Born from work, built for play. Carhartt's all-new Super Ducks tech jackets are built for hard-working people who can't sacrifice mobility for durability. This ultra-tough gear fights off wind, snow, and cold, while full-swing technology flexes with every move and still packs 3M insulation for maximum warmth. Try your new Carhartt Super Ducks at JobSite Workwear. 3 locations in Edmonton and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
JobSite Workwear, top people, top jobs.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. It is 1241, joined now by Rachel Krychak from Betalytics and ESPN. We remember last week you said you wanted to hear a song as your intro. We just didn't remember what it was.
The Grinch.
That's right.
Very niche request.
There you go. And you'd think we'd remember that. And we are such a well-researched show, and yet we missed on that. Okay, I'm glad we're talking to you today because the Oilers are really like a lot of the league because of the suppressed schedule. They're up and down like a yo-yo. They're in a winning streak, ease of schedule, some practice time, quality of opponent, all factors. But I want to know how much of the team success around strategy. Did the move of Nuge to the McDavid line help? And the dump and chase style has been eased, giving way to more passing and gaining the blue line under control. How much has that helped, the specifics of in-game management?
Well, I think it has to be considered a major part of it, but it's not even necessarily that it's a change in strategy. They're able to make some of the plays that they are making because they're playing more confident hockey as a group. And when you're playing confident and you have, we'll call it significantly more confidence than you did at the beginning of the season, you are able to execute on higher level plays and more often and with more consistency. And so I think that's what we're seeing here, and what that's leading to is less dump-ins, because you're going to get told to dump the puck in if you keep turning the puck over. Well, when you start executing with confidence and those plays no longer lead to as many turnovers, the coach is probably going to let you make those plays. And so I think what we're seeing is the reuniting of McDavid and Nugent Hopkins has been very good. They've been obviously very successful, and you're seeing both sort of their play is elevating because of it. But then on the flip side, you're also seeing that throughout the lineup, they're just moving the puck better. They're skating better. They are taking better passes to the puck. Their position in puck battles seems to be a little bit more, comes with a little bit more strength. And that's all having to do with confidence. And so I think when you look at how the Oilers have been playing, the practice time helps. That helps build the confidence, the communication. And so now the team is playing with some confidence, and we're starting to see results.
We've heard some goaltending rumors, trades, Binnington, Jari, others. But shouldn't Stan Bowman recall Connor Ingram first to see what he has in that player?
Well, I mean, we talked last week about Jordan Binnington, and I am all set on that. No, thank you. I do not want to be giving up an asset for that at all. I think Tristan Jarry's had a rebound now, and he's certainly a profile in what the Bill Masterton Trophy is all about when you consider everything he's been through in his career from a personal standpoint, and how his play has sort of recovered, and he's become somebody that's relatively reliable now. I do agree with you. I think you got Connor Ingram for a reason. You have him at significantly less salary than either of the other two would cost. And so you may as well see what you have in him, because the reality is prior to entering the NHL PA Player Assistance Program, he was very good. And so it can't hurt to sort of experiment and say, okay, what can he give us now? It's unlikely that he's going to give you what a starting goaltender is going to give you, but can he be a capable 1B? And if he's a guy that can come in as a 1B and give you, we'll call it 25 to 30 games that are remaining, I think you have to be pretty happy with that, especially if it's at a save percentage that's anywhere close to 915 or 920. I certainly think that it's something worth looking into. It's something worth experimenting with, especially because at this juncture, it's the cheapest option. And if it works, then you're not giving up assets for anything.
Rachel Krychak, our guest from Betalytics and ESPN. A lot of Oiler fans are very pleased with Matt Savoy and his emergence, but a little worried about the size injury risk. We've seen this before with Kailer Yamamoto, a skilled player. He's bigger than Yamamoto, but he's not a big player, and he does spend some time in high traffic areas. How much is injury a risk for a player like Savoy, who is undersized, but kind of picks his spots?
I think it all has to do with style of play. And the example I would point to is Brad Marchand. Now, obviously, he is 37 years old, and it's a little bit of a different scenario. But over the balance of his career, he's not really been a player that's been hurt. And he is, we'll call it a generous 5'9" and 180 pounds. Matthew Savoy is 5'10" and 179 pounds. And having seen Brad Marchand with my own eyes, I can tell you that Matthew Savoy is bigger than Brad Marchand. And so I think when it comes to Matthew Savoy, playing in high traffic is a good thing for any player. But one of the main complaints that organizations and coaches have, specifically when they're drafting players, is they don't play in traffic. Well, that can't be said about Matthew Savoy. So when you look at it, he's done a good job of not getting injured, and he profiles similarly from a body perspective to Brad Marchand. So I think if you're the Edmonton Oilers organization, this is still a very young player and a player with developable traits. Brad Marchand is somebody that I would have him modeling his game after. He certainly has the skating. He most certainly has the smarts, and he has the skill to be that exact kind of player. And so, no, I wouldn't necessarily be worried that Savoy is going to be injury prone, because he plays a different style than Kailer Yamamoto did. He's also quite a bit more skilled than Yamamoto, and his hockey sense is among the best, I would say, on the Edmonton Oilers outside of the top two guys. And so when you look at it, if he continues to pick his spots well, he's probably going to develop physically a little bit more, but it's more a matter of he's smart. He understands where to pick his spots. And if that continues to develop the way that it is, I wouldn't necessarily have the same concerns about him that I do about other smaller players, because he's so good with how he does things. Another example, I mean, is a different position, but Braden Point's a guy that doesn't get injured all that often either.
Rachel, I remember when the NHL didn't go to the Olympics. So when they finally went, it was a real thrill to watch. And then it went away. And I was very much, I know I'm not alone. Everybody's looking forward to Connor McDavid playing in the Olympics, but there are some rumblings about the size of the rink and quality of ice for the Olympics in Italy. Do you think the NHL plays in these Olympics? It seems like it's late to say no now.
I think we're at a situation where the NHL is going, and the only reason they won't go is if it puts the players' safety in jeopardy. And I think they're going to lean on the PA a lot to make that decision. The reality is the NHL knows how badly their players want to go, and chief among them is Connor McDavid. And so they're not going to get away with, no, you're not going because we don't want you to. We're far too late in the process for that. I really do think, and I can't believe I'm going to give the NHL the benefit of the doubt on this. I really do think we're in a situation where a lot of this is on the organizing committee. And in Milan, you've known you're scheduled to host the Olympics for over a decade at this point. There is no excuse for that rink not to be done. The dimensions, fine, but 1.5 feet in each neutral zone is really not that big of a deal. But the ice quality should be a significant concern. In the first 2 days of play, there's going to be 5 games with the men. And I mean, even some of the best ice on the planet was not necessarily suited to be excellent after that. And so I think when you look at it, there are some real safety concerns. And I mean, if I'm the NHL, I'm doing everything I can to have my best ice people over there assisting in whatever way possible. But I think it's far too late in the process to say we're not going. And the only way the NHL is going to get out of going is if there is a legitimate safety issue where players themselves say, okay, we don't necessarily think this is a good idea.
Okay. Rachel Krychak, our guest from Betalytics and ESPN. Every team in the Atlantic Division has 10 points or more in the last 10 games, except Ottawa. And they're not doing terribly, but they don't have 10 points. How can the Leafs gain ground, or any team in that division, with the league pretty much equal? It's different shades of gray every night.
It's so frustrating. I have been clamoring for the 3-2-1 point system for years now. And people say, oh, it wouldn't change the standings that much over the balance of the season. That's not the point. The point is that you have regulation wins and games that end in regulation that are worth different point values than totals or than games that aren't ending in regulation. And frankly, I think a team who pushes to win in regulation and wins in regulation should be rewarded with the full 3 points. Outside of that, I think if you don't want to do that, then you're kind of in a situation where you're going to have imbalanced value of games. And then you get a situation like we have in the Atlantic where you have some teams that are getting a bunch of points in overtime, and there is a significant uptick in the number of games going to overtime this year across the NHL. And it devalues a regulation win, in my opinion, because one is a 3-point game and one is a 2-point game. And so it's really difficult to gain ground if you're the Leafs, the Panthers, really anybody, when we have the system that we do and we're rewarding. Like a great example is last night, Vegas and the New York Rangers played. I don't know if you watched the last 5 minutes of that game, but I did, and it was borderline unwatchable because they're in different conferences, and it kind of looked like there was almost a gentleman's agreement of let's both get a point and we'll see what happens after that. That's silly. So you either make all games worth 3 points or you make all games worth 2 points, and what you do is there's no more loser point. No. So you are actually there's something on the line there. I think is really the only way that you can get around this.
See, I think I know it won't happen. I understand it won't, but I think that the best plan would be 3 points for a win. And if it's a tie, it's a tie, and everybody gets a point and you go home. There doesn't have to be an overtime in a regulation or in the regular season.
I completely agree with that. It works in soccer. Everybody's fine. There's no silliness. And if we're going to complain about extra wear and tear on players by elongating overtime, we'll just get rid of overtime and just shootout altogether. Because there's also like David Pasternak saying that he wants shootout goals to count towards a real goal total. Well, then you have to do all kinds of permutations, because that how many goals, like when you're counting a goal record, Alexander Ovechkin, for example, like then we're going to have to say, oh, minus shootout goals doesn't count this, that. No, it's a skills competition. You either score in the run of play and you're lucky that overtime counts, because 3-on-3 is glorified skills too. Like I'm kind of with you on that. It's either you get 3 points for a win or you get the full 2 points for a win, and then it's a tie and each team gets a point apiece.
Yeah, I think that's true. Now, I am colorblind, so I'm asking you this, Rachel, because when I first saw the new third Oilers jerseys, I didn't like them. But now that I see them on the ice and in action, and I've seen them like live, I really like them. They look good to me now. And I mean, I don't know what everybody else is seeing, but I wanted your opinion. Do you like these new jerseys? They're completely different style for the Oilers, including the logo, but I like them now, and I didn't earlier. What's your take on them?
As far as I'm concerned, if the Edmonton Oilers are going to score at the clip that they are when they're wearing those jerseys, they can wear them in any game that they want. And if I were Stan Bowman, I would be marching down and going, okay, we're wearing these jerseys at home now. Because, I mean, they're scheduled, I believe, to play Nashville the next time they wear these jerseys. And, like, that score might be 11-3 based on what Edmonton is doing in those jerseys. And so, I mean, aesthetically, I'm a huge fan of like that off-white kind of cream color. I think that's a really nice look, and it does look slick on the Oilers when they're playing fast and they're coming through the neutral zone and they're moving the puck well. Their power play looks good. Those jerseys look very slick.
Leon,
and so I like it.
I'm sorry. Leon in those jerseys against Nashville might be like supernova.
Oh, 5 points potentially we're looking at here. Like it's one of those things where for whatever reason the Oilers perform well in them and they also just look really good. And I think part of it is it's a color scheme that isn't really common in the NHL. Like I don't love the constant common colors. I like when we have a color on color matchup. So like when the Leafs play the Red Wings and it's red, blue, like as long as it's not like a colorblind situation, I believe we should have color on color matchups as often as possible, because white jerseys, frankly, aren't cool and they suck. So when you have this kind of off-white cream situation, I'm all for it. I kind of wish they were the Oilers' full-time away jerseys.
Well, if they're going to score like this, they will be soon. Rachel, thank you for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. Rachel Krychak from Betalytics and ESPN on every Monday, 1240. Now, coming up next hour, we have Jason Krueger down to practice, passed along some information about Jake Wallman, about Noah Philp, and more. So we'll talk to Jason about that and all the football. Straight ahead, we're going to have your comments about what Rachel said and about the NFL. Lots of people interested there. Few disgruntled Notre Dame fans and an Eagles fan who says, following, I'm an Eagles fan. I agree. Lowetide is a bad Eagles fan. I'll re-explain why I feel the way I do next hour, Andrew. And I know I'm right. Okay. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh chef-crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients and arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca. Edmonton Oilers news coming down from Jason Krueger as Jake Wallman won't play this week, according to Chris Knobloch. Not certain when he returns. The understanding is that he has a deep bone bruise from blocking a shot, and it is taking longer to heal than originally expected. NHL schedule tonight sees 5 games. It all gets going at 5:30. The puck drop between the Lightning and Leafs kicking off the action. The late games today in the NHL, we'll see the Red Wings in Vancouver taking on the Canucks, and the Minnesota Wild in Seattle taking on the Kraken. 3 games in the NBA today: Sacramento and Indiana, Phoenix and Minnesota, and San Antonio and New Orleans. And the NFL wraps up their Week 14 tonight with the Philadelphia Eagles in Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. The line for that one currently sits at -2.5 for Philadelphia. One game in the AJHL, we'll see Whitecourt and Fort McMurray with the 7 p.m. puck drop at Centerfire Place in Fort Mac. And some news from around the sporting world as the Cleveland Browns say Shedeur Sanders will be QB1 for the rest of the season. Toronto Raptors RJ Barrett with a knee sprain has received PRP injections and is out at least another week. The Utah Mammoths, Logan Cooley is out indefinitely with a lower body injury, and Connor Hellebuck has taken his first skate of rehab. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's 4th season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 10th to 12th, 8 a.m. Live, on-site, and online. On offer, core construction, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids and on-site view days and timed auction on now. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. A little after 1 o'clock. It's Lowetide, Declan, Josh. Declan just went for a coffee or a washroom. Did he put up his hand and ask? I'm not sure what he did.
He's going to help Sam out with something. Don't know what that is, but he's going to help.
All right. Andrew says, the problem, Lowetide, is every time I hear you talking about the Eagles, it's negative. The Eagles lost to the top teams this year, the Bears, Broncos. It was a fluke against Dallas, and the Giants' loss, I will admit, was bad. But my point is that the way they're losing, if they come out tonight and they play really well and lose, and the offense is there, I have no quarrel. But the games that I've seen recently, the defense is doing their job, and one of the reasons they're losing is they're on the field too much. The offense, you can move the ball between the 20s, attempt a field goal, and rip off 5 minutes on the play clock, and you've done your job. You got to score eventually, but you've done your job because your defense gets a chance to rest. But some of these games, the Eagles' offense is like 3 and out when they really can't be. And if there's a problem with the running back, then try someone else for a change. And that's my feeling on Triple C and a truck. Everything. I think everybody thinks the Eagles have the exact same offensive line as last year. They don't. People are hurt. People are missing. That's a big deal. I understand that, and I get it. But it is frustrating. I asked Declan last hour. I said, "Do you think they're going to win a playoff game?" And he says, "Well, they could, but a lot of that will. Losing Lane Johnson is a big deal. I get it. I understand that, and they have had plenty of retirements in the last few years. There are also some pretty big, pretty boring play calls. And I love Hurts. I do. But they need somebody else in the backfield to run the ball. I'm never going to quarrel about Saquon. I'm never going to bitch about that because he got them to the Super Bowl and they won the Super Bowl with him. People are talking about the jersey, in like somebody calls it the pit stain color, and others are saying, well, it's not great, but as long as they're winning. I didn't like it. Like when I first saw it, when they show it, it's kind of in the shadows and you're not really sure. And that's how I had seen it the first time. I was like, I don't know. But when I saw it under the bright lights and them flying down the ice, Rachel made a point about being an off-white. I think that's a good one too. It's just a little different, a little nuance. It's like, I cannot describe to you the mind-blowing moment that I saw the Minnesota North Stars play on Hockey Night in Canada as a kid, because it was like a green and white uniform. The Bruins were black and white, red and white for the Habs, a little blue, white and blue for Toronto. New York was blue and white. Chicago was red, deep red, and black and maybe yellow. And Detroit was red and white. Like there wasn't a lot. The greens were new. Minnesota North Stars were shocking. The California Seals were too, but nobody got to see them very much because they were so bad. But Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, they were all interesting jerseys. What's the worst jersey in the NHL? What's the one you just absolutely hate?
I need a second to think about this. I know Declan's got one on the tip of his tongue for sure.
I don't.
The Flames logo is too big.
How dare you say that? I love their jerseys.
I love their logo. It's just too big.
It's really my answer is actually really weird because 1, it's historic. 2, it looks exactly like the Oilers pretty much. But there's just something about the Islanders that I'm like, that blue is too navy blue and that orange pops too much. And I'm sure I'm on an island here.
Do you know that the Islanders and the Oilers came in the same year?
Yeah.
And do you know why the Oilers colors are the way they are?
No.
Bill Hunter was the first owner of the Edmonton Oilers, and he badly wanted to make a big deal, sponsorship deal with Gulf Oil. There was Gulf gas stations everywhere, Gulf, Gulf. And those are the colors of Gulf. So they made the jerseys in those colors as part of a package to get Gulf to sponsor the team or to, spend money in advertising for the team. And they didn't take it. But that's why the look came to be. I can't explain the Islanders. Nobody can, but that's how the Oilers came about.
See, I have my answer now, and this is worse than you saying the Islanders because this is a bad take. I really do not like the Detroit Red Wings jerseys.
What?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I know.
The Detroit wheel you don't like?
I don't
I
like
love
it.
their. I think they have some of the nicest.
Me too. I'm that's top
nicest
drawer.
When I
in the
look at
league.
it, I'm just like, meh. Like,
If you
it's just-
forced me to pick a favorite original 6 jersey, it would be that.
hey, more power to you. This is just a personal preference thing. I can't put my finger on why I've never been a fan of it, but I'm just not.
Okay. Well, we all have, I mean,
But also, I'm not exactly the shining star of fashion, so
and you
take
like
what
Luke.
I say with a grain of salt.
Luke Bryan is your favorite artist. So.
We need to stop spreading this rumor. All right.
Okay. I'll stop. Islanders came in 72. Yes, they did. And so did the Edmonton Oilers. They were called the Alberta Oilers, and they were in the WHA, but they came in 1972.
What's your least favorite jersey?
Didn't I say it?
Mm-mm.
I don't like Anaheim's.
It's a little too designed for 12-year-olds.
I will say this, that the one that I was most embarrassed by as a child was the Oakland Seals, because if you look at their logo, there's a seal holding a stick, which I think is impossible, but it was an outrageous, like, impossible logo. Colorado Rockies was dumb. Atlanta Flames was a great logo. Calgary Flames is too, but the Atlanta Flames was great.
I hated the Thrashers color combo.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. I love the first Canucks jersey. I haven't liked any since. And that one with the whatever the hell it was really bad. The V. It looked like you know what it looked like? It looked like a Homer Simpson kimono.
Yeah.
Kimono.
Zinger.
I like it strictly for the nostalgia of it, but I think it, like, if it was like a new reveal and I'd never seen it before and they were like, hey, these are going to be our jerseys for the 26-27 season, I'd be like, that's ridiculous.
James says worst jerseys are Nashville. I don't mind Nashville. I like their mustard one because it's unusual looking. LT, that golf story is dead on. Well, I know. That company here is Edmonton is now as Kiera. Didn't know that. Penguins are bad jerseys. I love the original Penguins jerseys. They had a little penguin. It was so cute on the front, and it was blue and white, but it was a kind of a light blue, almost like a Montreal Expos powder blue. It was a nice uniform. You can look it up. Original one. Then they went to like all of Pittsburgh is black and gold. Islanders fish stick jerseys were the best if you hated the Islanders. There were some bad one-off jerseys back in the day.
You know what jerseys I really hate? And it's not hockey related at all. And this is another bad take. I really don't like the Celtics jerseys.
I'm actually kind of with you on that. It's just green.
It's like it's just
boring green.
And it's like they have a logo on the center of their court. It just says Boston or Celtics on the front of their jersey. Like, I get it, historic franchise.
Yeah.
Their jersey has not changed in 60 years.
Yeah. The Lakers is a great jersey.
The Lakers have a fantastic. They have the right kind of gold on there, and the right kind of purple to go with it. Like those Kobe 24 era jerseys, so nice.
Spinner, I love their purple.
Spinner from Edmonton North says, LT, the Blackhawks jersey is the best. After that, everyone else is second. I really like the Blackhawks jersey, and I like the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. It's very nice. I like all 6 of the original 6. But I think Detroit would be first for me. Maybe Chicago. I love Boston's jersey so much. The spoke, the black Bobby Orr Opeachy 71-72 photo. That is if anybody ever took over from Detroit, it would be that jersey. It's so good. A seal holding a stick is no more ridiculous than a coyote holding a stick. I think it is.
I agree, because at least coyotes have
paws.
Yeah, like they have individual digits
Right.
on their paws. Seals
Exactly.
don't have that.
No,
But they don't have thumbs. Like
No, true. No thumbs.
Like,
You know.
it's more realistic that a wolf would hold a hockey stick in its mouth, like a stick,
Right, sure.
right?
But
A seal has 2 flappers.
what?
They
I know
can
it's
pick it
the
up.
2 flippers. You know, it's like
he
watching
sold me.
Jason Strudwick play
like,
hockey.
Like they can move their flippers like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Strudwick.
You could get exactly.
Right.
Struddy was able to hold a stick.
Sure. Okay.
I don't see why a seal wouldn't be able to hold a stick.
You can't overlook the Flyers logo. That's true. Flyers logo is great, but they weren't an original 6 team. I think the Flyers and the Oilers, Hartford, Quebec, the Flames.
Know who has a great logo?
Minnesota North Stars had a great logo.
I love the Sharks logo.
That's great. And the teal color is nice too.
The teal is so good.
No.
I know one Sharks fan. Just one. She might be the only one.
When when they came into being in 92 or whatever, that's when people that I knew would like within a year you saw Sharks jerseys everywhere. And I'd never seen a new team. Like you'd see Habs jerseys, but Habs like hoodies or shirts or whatever, right? But they were wearing the actual jerseys. That the marketing for the San Jose Sharks was a winner from the word go, and they often dominated sales for years and years and years after they came into the league.
Do you know why you saw so many kids? Sharks are cool. That's why.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Sharks rule. You want to be like, I'm going to cheer for a team called the Sharks.
You'd think the Desert Dogs would have had more. People love dogs.
Yeah, well, sometimes people hate the desert, though.
Yeah. Florida Panthers jerseys are a bit much.
I don't think I like theirs either. There's a lot going on, but also not enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Carolina Hurricanes logo, I love the Hurricanes, but their logo is like
boring.
It's meh,
It's boring.
I mean,
they should have the Sharks sick teal color. They shouldn't be red and black and white. Yeah. They should be like 3 shades of blue or blue, and white.
What's the most dominant animal or bird in Carolina? Surely to God, there's some predator bird or something.
Can't be eagle. Seagulls. The Carolina Seagulls.
No, that's not good.
Carolina Gulls.
Washington should go back to the early 90s style, red, white, and blue. They were very good. With the capitals, with the stars on it, it was really good. Coyote should have changed their name to the Roadrunners. Roadrunner is faster than a coyote. Well, they just needed good players. Okay, we're getting into things that I don't want to get into. I really don't want to read that sentence, hot salsa. Please don't make me.
Meow. I'm going to read it.
Don't read hot salsas.
That's exactly what I'm going
for. No, don't do it.
Oh, hey.
You'll regret it.
We're talking about his last one, 30 seconds ago.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
Hot salsa, you genius. Keep it in your pants, you dog.
Okay. On the way, it's Jason Krueger. We have Declination's Mama MMA. Do you have enough material? They did have an event this weekend.
Oh, more than enough. Okay. More than enough. 2 titles changing hands. Fight of the year contender. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look forward to it. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner, too.
Right.
for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event right now at wolfgmcbuick.com. We are now joined by Jason Krueger. Jason Krueger show coming up at 2 o'clock today. We're down at the rink. Looks like the lines and pairings are the same, but you have some news on Wallman and on Noah Philp.
Yeah, Philp skated today. He's eligible because you got to be, when you're on LTIR, you got to miss 10 games and 24 days, which would be Thursday for him. So he would be eligible. The first game would be Toronto. Now, usually when they bring a guy off of LTIR, his first game back isn't back-to-back.
No.
So I would think probably the earliest you would say is Montreal, maybe on Sunday, but he's close. After that, Clattenburg, his eyes fine, but his vision. So they basically he had to stay off the ice, can't do any physical activity for a few days just because they're worried about swelling there. Right. So he's not playing tomorrow. I don't expect him to play on Thursday. And then you know what? After that, if they have to, in order to activate Philp, then you probably have to send him down. So we'll see where he's at. Jake Wallman not playing this week. I don't think he's going to play next week, according to what Knobloch said. My understanding is, so he blocked the shot, and he blocked it right on the side of the knee, my understanding, where there's no padding. And so he's got a deep bone bruise.
Right.
And so he came and skated last week, and he was on the ice for, 20 minutes. And then he left with the trainers and hasn't been on the ice, at least with the group since. Now, as he skated on his own, I don't know. I didn't ask, to be honest, but he's not playing this week. So, he's going to miss at least 4 more games, maybe more. Roslovic, Kapanen are around Christmas time. They might get in that Calgary game beforehand, or maybe it's not until the Calgary game after Christmas, but that's where it's at.
We're not in a position where we would see a recall for a defenseman to replace Wallman?
Well, no, because, they don't really have the roster space, right? They'd have to move somebody to LTIR. Now, you could do that. You could put Wallman on retroactive LTIR at any point now, because he's getting to the point where he would be 10 games. But I'm assuming they don't do it because they don't really know, like, this thing's just taking longer than expected, and they just kind of have to wait for it to kind of play out. So, yeah, it's obviously a risk. Now, when you go on the road trip, Al, it might be something they consider, especially if it's back-to-back. And plus, let's say you play in Toronto and a D-man gets hurt. Well, now you're Montreal the next day, but you got to bring somebody from OKC who's got it clear. So, yeah, that's something they're looking at, but I can't say with certainty if they'll do it.
Regula's playing better, I think. I
was on the ice for a goal, Al.
Yeah, I know one.
First one. I was on the ice. Nugent Hopkins goal on Saturday night. First time all year. He got to go the Helmet taps.
There you go.
In the celebration.
If I had to bet between he and Emberson starting the first game of the playoff, I would go with Emberson. What's your bet?
It's a good question. I look at the minutes and where they're playing. Regula's starting to play more on the penalty kill. And, he's bigger. He's longer. So it's a good question. Now, the advantage that Emberson will have is that he's played a lot with Kulak. And if we assume that Wallman's just going to come in and play with Nurse, then, yeah, you might have to then you have to make a decision on Emberson or Regula. To me, honestly, I don't know. I haven't seen enough yet to know what Regula will be, but I do think his size is an advantage. He's a better puck mover.
Curtis Lazar is, he's been in and out of the lineup. He and Philp were kind of, one or the other. He had a pretty good night on Saturday. That fourth line played quite a bit. Frederick and Tomasic. That was a nice pass by Frederick to Tomasic. He puts it in the net. I know Winnipeg was tired. I know it was a very specific game, but signs of a pulse there for Lazar and the line.
Well, you look at in the last 4 games, their bottom, without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, they've outscored the opponents 3-1.
Yeah.
So that's a real big improvement from getting outscored 33-13. So in the first 25 games, and they need to be better defensively for sure. And they also need to start to chip in. Janmark scored, Lazar scored, Tomasic scored in the last 2 games. So that's a good sign. Frederick obviously wants to get going. I think Mangiapane, although Mangiapane, at least in the last few games, has been a plus player 5-on-5 after just getting destroyed. And I still think his game, I don't love his game. I probably got a little bit of a bias. To me, if you're a small, skilled forward, you got to be a top 6 guy and you got to produce. If not, I'm not sure there's a ton of room for you come playoff time. So, when you look at Roslovic and Kapanen, Mangiapane's, I think he might be hard pressed out because he doesn't fit to really be a 4th-line player. If you're looking at a 4th line that's maybe got a little bit of size and physicality, doesn't really do that. So, I'll be curious to see. He's a guy who I think is gonna have to get going here, or he could be in trouble once Roslovic and Kapanen return. When Kapanen is playing well, and he has played well in Edmonton when he's been healthy, I always wonder how they got him off waivers. He's a good player. Well, I think the biggest thing for Kasperi, and I talked to him, he's very honest, and I know he's really pissed off that he got hurt in that last practice. He was close and ready to come back. That he kind of figured out how to be consistent. Oh. He admitted that was a challenge. You'd have good 3 weeks, and then you'd fall off, and then you have a good few weeks, and then you'd fall off. And he hasn't, I think getting sat out in the playoffs, he was just like, oh my God, I don't want to do this again. Yeah. And he came back, and man, he was excellent in the postseason. Oh. And I thought he started this year quite well before he got injured. So I think there's just a player that sometimes it takes, 3, 4, 5 times to finally have the light bulb go on and say, man, if I want to stay in this league here, I need to be more consistent, because his skill set, no one questions it. He has NHL ability. It's not even a debate. It's just, can he show it on a consistent basis? Can Savoy hold off Roslovic for that second line job on the right wing with Leon when he gets back? Well, I don't think he has to. I think Knobloch's been pretty forthcoming in the fact that he likes Nugent Hopkins at center. And I think ultimately long term, Nuge is going to be the 3rd line center. So Roslovic and Savoy will both be in the top 6 with Hyman and Podkolzin for the time being, until maybe they acquire another top 6 guy. But, Matt Savoy has always been an offensive player. And I thought Knobloch did a really good job saying, kid, I don't really care about your offense early on. We're going to put you on the penalty kill. I want you to be reliable defensively. And I know the player wants to produce. Yes. But when you're a young player and the coach is always reminding you, hey, your defensive game's good, you don't necessarily worry about it. Now he gets some practice. I think Matty, like a lot of guys, might be a little worn down, right? He never played a schedule like that. No. That the Oilers had. And, I know that you see rookies sometimes early in the season, the veteran side, and see them and you're just they're zonked out on every plane. They're tired. No. And I wonder if that was a small factor for him. But I think it was more so just, he was more concerned about being good defensively, which he has been. And now he scored a goal or 2, and all of a sudden his confidence comes up, and he's going to make some goals. So I think ideally they probably have Nuge in certain situations as your 3rd line center. And then depending on who's going, if they want to move Nugent Hopkins back up to the wing. But historically, we've seen Nugent Hopkins as a 1st-line left winger. He doesn't produce a lot 5-on-5. No, so doesn't. I'm not suddenly going to expect him to. He's playing really well, but I think he's better as a center iceman. The coach thinks he's better as a center iceman. And right now, it makes sense to play him as a left winger. But once you get Roslovic and Kapanen back, I think you'll see Nugent Hopkins go down. And then you look at your 3rd line, right? Then Henrique's probably your 4th-line center. Your team's pretty good. Yeah, I agree with you on Nuge. He should be on the 3rd line. This ice thing in Italy is becoming a story. And, they're going, right? They're going. Oh, yeah, they'll go. This, people are going to freak out. Have you guys not watched the Olympics beforehand? How many times did the hockey arena in most of these places gotten made a week before it's done? I know that this one's going to be 3 feet shorter, but the international ice is basically 197 feet long. So Utah's rink last year was shorter. No one just talked about it because now it's well, I didn't really notice. I didn't really care. Did you notice when you watch the games in Utah? Did you notice a significant difference? No. Now, the quality of ice, that's going to be another question. But how are you going to know what the quality of ice is until it's in the rink? Yeah. You just won't really know. But, Al, my stance in the Olympics, I like the competitiveness of the Olympics. I hate the politics of it. I hate the greed of it. And I really wish that the Olympics would simply become a 4-city rotation for winter and a 4-city rotation for summer, and you upgrade those facilities. And we don't need every country in the world having the opportunity to host it and waste money on facilities that never get used after they leave. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just gluttony and it's gross. Yeah. And they could be using that money to help people. Chiefs dynasty over? No, I don't think so. Remember the Patriots? They missed the playoffs a few times, right? One time, I think they missed the playoffs going 11-5, if I'm not mistaken. And the Dolphins won the division, and the Patriots didn't even get a wild card spot. So, you know what? What's interesting about the Chiefs is they used to be the team that won all the one-score games, and now I think they've got like 6 of their losses are by one score. And look at yesterday, and yesterday was actually one that wasn't a one-score game. Travis Kelce, you got to catch that ball.
Yes,
like he should catch that ball, and then you're going to tie the game, and it ends up a turnover, and now you lose the game by 10. And it's kind of being symbolic of their team. Right now, they don't really have a great running attack at all. There's no threat to run the ball. And I don't think their receivers are good enough. Like Rashee Rice, a good receiver, but I don't think they got a lot of 50-50 ball receivers where sometimes you just throw it up and they're going to win the battle. I don't think they have that in their arsenal right now. And so, it's tough. I'm sure Buffalo fans and other teams like, oh my God, thank God the Chiefs aren't in, because you get in the playoffs, it's a different story. And now, like you look at the Chargers tonight, how good are they going to be? What's Herbert going to do? They're playing your Eagles, who are obviously struggling right now, but man, it's wide open for some positions. Like look in the NFC, Chicago went from 1st to 7th. They lose one game.
Yeah.
And because of the 4 divisions and every division winner has to make the playoffs, you got the Bears, the Lions, the Packers. They're all really good.
No.
Then you got the 49ers and the Rams and the Seahawks, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
But one of those teams can't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you got the other 2 division winners that have to get in. Like it's kind of wild to think that in 4 weeks there's going to be a really good team that's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's a fascinating year this year, in across the AFC for sure. Like it's for me, I watch some of these games. Seahawks are a good team. They're a good team.
Really good team, man. The Rams are a really good team. The 49ers probably don't get talked about. They've had a lot of injuries, but they're a really good team. And look at the Bears. Like you go into Green Bay and you lose that game yesterday. There's nothing. Now, I didn't love the throw at the end by, I think he had a wide open receiver underneath. So, but you know what? Hey, make the wrong throw at the wrong time. But, the Lions are good. So there's lots of good teams like hey man, the Bucks aren't like, how do you lose to New Orleans? Like they might lose that division now to Carolina, and that might go back and say, oh my God, we lost to New Orleans. And that's what cost us the season. Cause it might be the game that cost them the season.
Sports is so dumb. Like it just,
it's so dumb, but so awesome. At the same time.
No, it is for sure.
Yeah, like look at F1, right? Like F1 goes right down to the wire, one of the closest races ever. And, Norris wins it. And so good for him. And it's like right now in the NFL, even in the NHL, like look at the NHL, like the Eastern Conference, everyone's like, oh yeah, like, is there a good team, like a really good team in the East? Honestly, like,
well,
they're all within 3 or 4 points, but look at the Pacific and look at the Central from first to last and see the difference in points.
Yes.
And then you go in the Atlantic and the Metro and there's virtually no separation. Now everyone's, that's because it's parity. I'm like, is it really that good though? Like which team in the East would you say right now, this is the team that I think is really good? Oh my God, they're hard to beat.
Yeah. Washington would be my choice, but it's not like they're lights out. Right.
Yeah.
One thing I mentioned earlier that in the Atlantic Division, last 10 games for each team, only one of them has less than 10 points. Ottawa has 8, and everybody else is between like 10 to 14. So it's hard to gain any ground. If you're a team like Florida, it's going to be tough to get, back in the game.
Yeah. Florida, they need Kachuk, obviously. They got Lost Arena back, so that's good news for them. But they're like Bobrovsky's just not playing very well.
No.
Like just look at his numbers. And he's a free agent. So I'll be curious. They've signed everybody else.
Yeah.
And they signed some of those guys for pretty long-term deals. I'm very curious to see what they do with goalie Baugh. I can understand when they look and say, hey, man, this guy's got us his last 3 years in the playoffs has been unreal, even in the regular season. So if he has a tough few games, we might still sign him for a 2-year deal, but he's obviously not going to get 10 mil again. He might be going down to 6 or whatever the number
is. The
is.
Marchand trade, the sign was a mistake. The contract's too long. Like I love Brad Marchand.
Hey, Sam Bennett. What I told everybody's freaking out about Sam Bennett. And I love Sam Bennett as a player, but he's not a big time offensive player. You can't pay guys that much money. He's never scoring 16 goals again in the playoffs. Mark it down. Alex Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer in the game today, has scored 15 goals in a season once in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby's done it once. You think that Sam Bennett's going to do it again? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, no, it's true. What's coming up on the show?
Kevin Woodley will be by. We'll be talking goaltenders. Buffalo is a very intriguing team because they have 3 goalies right now in the NHL. Like, is Kevin Adams delusional?
He is.
Like, did you see him come out and say, no, I asked the guy. They all said it's okay. What? There's not one goalie I've ever talked to in real life who said, I like having 3 goalies. They hate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like
oh yeah, no, it's okay. We like it. Give me a break. And then they got Devin Levi in the minors. So I'm curious about Buffalo's goalie situation to see what they're going to do. And then the Detroit Red Wings are in town on Thursday. This is a week where the Oilers, like their schedule, they got to take care of business because then they play 6 and 9.
Yep.
And, the first 5 on the road, and then they finish with a weird, like they're in Minnesota next Saturday afternoon, and then they play Vegas the Sunday night at Edmonton. So it's not an ideal back-to-back, but we'll break that down, Al, and look at some of the NFL situations. And we'll go around the NHL talking a little bit about teams where there's a few teams like bad news today for Utah.
Yeah.
Logan Cooley. I just, I wasn't sold on Utah to start, and I'm less sold on them now.
Do the Oilers have the assets to get Alex Tuck?
Guess it depends what they want.
No.
Right? They got a first rounder. Like how much if Alex Tuck doesn't sign a contract, how much more are you getting for Alex Tuck?
Maybe not much.
Right, like
more
a
than
first and Quinn Hudson. I'm just using out a name, right? Like what? Like the Oilers got to like Quinn Hudson is coming along here in the minors. Like they've got some guys. Szymanski's a player who could be a 4th line player in the NHL, maybe a 3rd liner. That's fine.
Plays center,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's big body.
Yeah,
right. You got Ike Howard down there, so no, Edmonton's got some guys. Like scouting isn't just for the amateurs, right? Obviously, you want to hit there, but hockey is a late developing sport, has proven it time and time again. There's lots of players in different leagues around the world, and that's where your pro scouts, like I give them credit, right? Like you got Quinn Hudson, right? You got Szymanski, you got Marhala. Those are 3 guys now. I know you followed a lot. You see the numbers of all these guys and what they're doing down there. These guys are legit prospects. Now, will they all be NHL players? Unlikely.
Right.
And they're definitely not all going to be NHL players in Edmonton. There's just not enough room. But they are guys with potential. And so if you're Buffalo, what are you looking for in the case of Alex Tuck? You're probably looking for a first-round pick and a younger prospect.
Well, the Condors right now are the most interesting addition of the team in a decade. They are. When Leon and Nurse were there for a brief time.
6 games.
Yeah. They were more interesting, but it's been a long time since they had this, these are really interesting hockey players. Look forward to it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Al, have a good one.
You done your Christmas shopping?
Al, I was done in November. This is unbelievable. Yeah. I actually this year, my wife for her birthday sent me, I just said, just send me like 6 or 7 things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And then so I went, I bought one, but then I saved the email and then I just purchased the other ones for Christmas.
Nicely
done. It's a dream come true. I used to be the guy who loved the urgency and the thrill of the December 23rd shopping. So all the guys out there that don't feel bad about yourself, there's it's a thrill about it. It's fun. Now, as long as you have a plan, don't just walk into the mall and have no idea. Then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Then you're just walking around aimlessly. But if you have a plan of attack, you can get in and out on the 23rd, no problem.
And make sure that you go get the thing that you think might not be available because people are buying it heavily. That's happened to me too. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right. On the way, Declinations. This is Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
Hockey talent from across the globe is coming to Camrose.
The Viking Cup returns for the first time in nearly 20 years, December 28th to January 3rd at the Encana Arena. Witness this elite competition between teams from Canada, the USA, and Europe. See the speed, skill, and intensity of world-class hockey right at home. Fully vet packages are on sale now with adult and student pricing available. Get your tickets before they sell out at vikingcup.ca.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event at wolfgmcbuick.com. Just watching a highlight package of recently injured quarterbacks. That's a tough thing to watch because their whole season's going down with that one moment. It's time for Declinations, brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Article, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth EE football coverage online, including the draft coming up. elksnation.ca. And now it's time for Declan Krueger to talk Mama MMA.
Yes. The final pay-per-view of the year has come and gone this past weekend. And actually the final pay-per-view of what our southern compatriots down in the US will know as the ESPN Plus pay-per-view model. We just get it on, you can just buy it right through your TV, right through your service provider on pay-per-view, but it is moving to Paramount Plus. This was the final pay-per-view under the current iteration of the system for the UFC. Like I said, moving to Paramount Plus, where you're gonna have to pay that subscription, but no more pay-per-views. And listen, fight of the year, unbelievable fight in the main event, a changing of the guard on the pay-per-view, and some great fights down the line. Like I'll start from the top down, because Peter Yan is a guy who a lot of people thought didn't really actually lose a fight in the UFC until he fought Merab the first time. Like, people thought the Aljo fight, the first one, obviously the DQ was kind of a crazy scenario. Then people thought he was robbed the second fight against Aljo, thought he was robbed against O'Malley. And it wasn't until that Yan fight where people were really like, ooh, yeah, like Peter Yan got beat soundly here. This wasn't even close. But at that point, he was 1-4 in his last 5. And he went and he built himself back up. He fights Song Yadon, who is a really, really dangerous striker, wins that one by decision, looks great in it. He beats Davison Figueiredo, a former champion at flyweight, looks great in that fight. Then he beats Marcus McGee, a guy who, like, listen, I like Marcus McGee. He's a fun nice little prospect. I don't know if we should be getting title shots off of beating him, but whatever, beats him as well. Puts 3 together, and the UFC says, okay, here you go. You're going to fight Merab again. And everyone and their mom thinks Merab is going to do exactly what he did the first time to Peter Yan. He's going to push the pace. Foot's going to be on the gas. He is going to be on him. He is going to be taking him down. If Merab gets up, or if Peter gets up, he's going to take him back down again. And that was not the case. Peter controlled the fight. He busted Merab up. His striking was so crisp. He landed this beautiful liver kick that had Merab hurt. He was busting up Merab's face. He was taking Merab down when Merab wasn't able to get him down. Really, I think the final number was 2 for 29 on takedowns. Like, it was such a complete performance by a guy who I think to a large degree had been written off. Not because he was 1-4 in his last in a 5-fight stretch, but I think it was because the way he lost to Merab, and that was then his third loss in a row. I think a lot of people thought like he had his, time. He was the champion for a short bit. He's a really talented fighter, probably not going to reach the top of the mountain again. Instead, he rights the ship, puts together a win streak, and goes out there and beats really one of the most dominant incumbent, if not the most dominant incumbent male champion we had in the sport. And it was just such a top to bottom performance from a really skilled guy. Now, to talk about this from Merab's angle, this was Merab's 4th fight of 2025. He just fought 2 months ago, beginning of October, nearly 2 months to the day. He fought December 6th, obviously this past Saturday. He fought October 4th before that. So like, this was a guy, 4th fight in a year. I get he wants to be fighting. He loves it. He wants to keep the UFC happy. He wants to be a guy they can rely on. But I just wonder how much that cost him his title. Like, he didn't have to fight on this card. He could have taken some more time off, enjoyed the holidays, came back in the first quarter of 2025, been a little bit more well rested. It's not like he took an immense amount of damage in that Corey Sandhagen fight, but it still went a full 25 minutes. He obviously fast tracks it a little bit, and this is the result. Credit to Peter Yan, first and foremost. That's what it's about. He went out there and did something not a lot of people thought he would do. But if I was Merab, I probably would have taken the rest of the year off here and just reset the body and the mind a little bit. Now, co-main event. Alex Pantoja snaps his arm in half, and we have a new flyweight champion. In the first round, like right into the first round, Alex Pantoja, the incumbent champion, breaks his arm, and Joshua Van, by way of technical knockout, becomes the flyweight champion. And Joshua Van's a great fighter. I would have loved to see it. And he's put together an incredible little win streak here. I would have loved to see this one play out. This is the thing. I am all for, if you check a kick and your opponent breaks their leg, or, if you do something to cause a break to your opponent, I have no problem with your opponent winning the fight by TKO. And that's the argument for what happened in this one. This one felt a little bit more fluky. Like, I would have loved, it would never have happened because of the letter of the law, but I would have loved for this one to have been ruled a no contest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
wow.
Honestly, it just didn't feel like there was enough in the fight. And Joshua Van didn't force the issue enough for me to be like, ooh, he checked that nice and broke his arm. Like, it was, I'm not going to call it a fluke, but it certainly felt a heck of a lot flukier than other breaks we would have seen. Like, I don't know. It's not the letter of the law. It's not how it goes. It was not going to happen. Credit to Joshua Van. He's the champion now, and I'm sure Alex Pantoja is going to come back stronger.
How deep was the fight? How deep did they go?
It was like 30 seconds in.
Oh, well, you're right.
Yeah, it was like
no contest is definitely an option.
Yeah, it was like, and to Joshua Van's credit, I guess, like, technically he did something to, make this happen, but it's just, it leaves kind of a sour taste in your mouth because you didn't get to see the fight. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't get to see the fight. Tatsuo Taira knocks out Brandon Moreno in the feature bout. This was a fight where Brandon Moreno, he's now 2-2 since losing his title back in 2023. I think if he had won this one, he would have fought for the title in short order. Now I wonder if Brandon Moreno has a path to climb his way back up to the title. Flyweight, they're bringing some new prospects in. You see guys like Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, Tatsuo Taira shooting to the top of the lineup. I would think it's going to be a long road for Brandon Moreno. I don't know if he ever gets back to the title, but credit to what he did as a champion. He was a great champion. He had 4 legendary fights with Davison Figueiredo. Good guy, easy guy to root for in the sport. Just have to think his time at the top might be over. But Tatsuo Taira, like I said, shoots right up the mountain. He's going to fight for the title in short order, and as he should. And Henry Cejudo had his retirement fight this past card. He was fighting a guy named Peyton Talbot. This is a guy who he would have dog walked like 5-6 years ago. Just not the same fighter. Legend of the game, double champ in the UFC. They call him Triple C because he also won an Olympic gold medal. Incredible wrestling background. Like his run of Demetrius Johnson, TJ Dillashaw, Marlon Moraes when Marlon was dangerous, Dominic Cruz, one of the best, probably the best 4-fight run in UFC history for my money. Like, it was incredible across 2 weight classes, winning titles, putting guys away, like stopping TJ, stopping Marlon, stopping Dom. Like, like I said, best 4-run streak we've seen in the UFC history. Time to wrap it up for sure. This is a guy he would have killed 5-6 years ago. Gets his face kind of lit up in this one. unanimous decision, all rounds, all judges for Peyton Talbot. Tough to see, but yeah, legend of the game. I'm glad he's going out because we don't want to see him fight anymore.
Yeah, time marches on. And, for fighters, it's staying out. You can retire, but you've got to stay retired.
Yeah, and he's 38 now. The last thing I'll say is he retired in May 2020 after that Dominic Cruz victory, took 3 years off, came to fight for the title, lost a split decision to Aljamain Sterling, then promptly lost 3 more after that. Like, it's just...
He's done.
Yeah, it's hurting the legacy. It's done. It's over. Legend, though.
Yeah, in boxing, you just see that so often where a fight... Like Foreman, I'll give Foreman credit. He came back and he was, he was really good for a long time, but it's rare.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it can be. We can finish up with some hockey here. You know what?
I want you to exhaust the ammo.
Well, the one thing I will say is if you're, maybe kind of looking to get into MMA, you like the brawling nature, you like the punching, you like the craziness of it. Go back and watch Iwo Berianishki and Ibo Islam. If you can find that fight on YouTube or Fight Pass, crazy fight, crazy turnaround. It's why we love the sport. Go find that fight and watch it.
There's a few questions here that people are sending in. You want to have a lash at those?
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got here?
Got a liver kick and Oliveira Holloway.
That's right. Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway, their second fight announced for UFC 326 for the BMF title. Love the matchup. Super fun. Listen, I wanted Max Holloway to fight for the lightweight title, the interim lightweight title, I should say. I thought I thought him and Armand both got passed over for Justin and Patty. Is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Charles and Max is such a fun stylistic fight. It's two guys who are going to bring it. It's two guys who each guy has a specific skill set that's really going to favor them. I think like Charles absolutely can strike and has turned himself into a pretty well and good striker. We obviously saw him knock out Chandler. He's got a nice set of hands now, but on the feet, Charles still hates being hit. He's always reacted to it really poorly. Max is going to be a guy who is going to keep the volume up and be in Charles Oliveira's face. And then as much as I like Max has never really been a well-credentialed jiu-jitsu fighter. So if that fight goes to the ground, Charles Oliveira is probably going to have his way with him. It's an awesome fight. It's an unreal fight. It's a great stylistic matchup. It's two of the biggest fan favorites, two of the biggest fan favorites. Really looking forward to that fight, UFC 326. If I had to give a prediction right now, I just like what Holloway's done a little bit more recently. I didn't think he looked the best we've ever seen against Dustin Poirier, but I just think, I don't know, form wise, I feel like I would give it to Charles, but Charles looked great against Gamrot too. I'm rambling here a little bit. It's tough to pick. We'll break it down when it gets closer to really fun fight though. Really one fight.
That's a JMO pause.
By me?
No, it was me. You had thrown it back to me. I was just pondering whether to ask you about Joshua versus Paul.
Yeah, we'll touch on that quickly as well. Listen, that one's going to go down December 19th. Listen, people are really hard on Jake Paul, and rightfully so, I might add. Like, guy's kind of a clown. But Jake Paul, I mean, he gets up every day in his mansion and he goes and trains. He's surrounded by a lot of yes men, but he goes and trains. He does the work. He spars. He takes care of his body. Like, say what you want about him, but he's putting in the work. He's putting in the effort. He cares about making this thing happen, and I give him a lot of credit in that respect. He's handpicking matchups. Yes, that's pretty much as much as I can say. Like, he's handpicking matchups, no question. But he's doing the work. He's putting it in. He cares. That said, if that fight versus Anthony Joshua goes more than 45 seconds, we got a rigged fight here. Like, this is just a different level. This is a two-time world heavyweight champion. And Anthony Joshua came to the sport late as well, and he's given Jake Paul his credit in that respect. But this is one, the size difference, immense. The credentials on the world stage, immense. The amateur background, immense. Like, the power, the skill set, the car, like, everything favors Anthony Joshua to the 1 millionth degree. And you heard it here first. If that fight goes more than 45 seconds, we're looking at a rigged fight.
this is not related to MMA, but T. Higgins expected, he reported concussion symptoms last night, and he's been placed in concussion protocol. So more good news for the Bengals. Josh, looking forward to that, I guess. I want to just come back to the NFL really quickly because I asked Jason this question. Do you think we just saw the end of the Chiefs as a dynasty?
No, but I think they missed the playoffs this season.
Okay. A lot of changeover.
That's not exactly a hot take.
No, but a lot of changeover has to occur. Do they have a pile of draft picks?
Not really.
So then they're going to have to go into free agency and do that really smart thing where you got a bunch of mid-level free agents who can play. Hard to do. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. We're back tomorrow. Stay tuned. Jason Krueger. Jason Krueger Show coming up next.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2. Or you can visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring that next flooring project to life. Edmonton Oilers news: Jake Wallman will not play this week, according to Chris Knobloch via Jason Krueger. Not certain when he returns next week, but the understanding is that he is a deep bone bruise from blocking a shot and is taking longer to heal than originally expected. NHL action, 5 games, all gets going with Tampa and Toronto at 5:30. 2 late games at 8 o'clock. See the Red Wings and Canucks in Vancouver and the Wild in Seattle. NBA schedule, 3 games, Sacramento and Indiana, Phoenix and Minnesota. In the late game will be San Antonio and New Orleans. In the NFL, week 14, wrapping up tonight with the 8-4 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 8-4 Los Angeles Chargers out at SoFi Stadium. The line for that one, -2.5 for Philly. 1 game in the AJ Whitecourt and Fort McMurray. 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. And news in the sporting world is the Cleveland Browns will start Shedeur Sanders for the rest of the season. Utah Mammoth's Logan Cooley is out indefinitely with a lower body injury, and Connor Hellebuck has taken his first skate of rehab. It's going to do it for us. On behalf of Josh Fenwick and Lowetide, I'm Declan Krueger. Up next is the Jason Krueger Show, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR.